Hi guys, my name is Chloe Barnes, and today I'm going to be talking about Vygotsky's social cultural theory. I'm going to be talking about how social interactions with others and cultural beliefs and attitudes affect individual learning and learning process. Another thing I'm going to talk about real quick is the zone of proximal development, which is the learning areas from what a learner can do, what they can do with assistance, and what they cannot do. So basically with that, teachers have to understand what the student can do by themselves, what the student needs help with, and what they cannot do by themselves. So Vygotsky believed that children's relationships with their peers and other adults affect their own learning. He said that a child's full cognitive development cannot occur without social interaction. If and how a child learns can be affected by how the child interacts with their parents and guardians, peers, and friends. A child's learning is also affected by the culture in which they live. Their own cultural attitudes and beliefs can affect how the student learns. So, a couple of implications that I thought of would be pairing two students together for playtime. One older student who may be like walking, talking, crawling, just one behavior that is more desirable for the teacher to um, see happen with the younger student. And then with the younger student who may be saying a few words, who's trying to crawl, who's trying to walk, so that the younger student may learn from the older student. The younger student will be able to pick up on a few more words or be able to watch the student walk and figure that out just by listening or observing the older student while they're playing. Another thing would be that teachers and parents can incorporate new toys, books, or activities into the child's play from their family culture. By doing this, by implementing these into the classroom or the child's play, they can help the child become more in tune with their own culture. Some challenges that I was thinking of was it takes time for the teacher to learn about the student and their level of learning and the changes in behavior after the theories apply. So basically, the teacher spends the whole beginning of the school year trying to learn where the student is in their own learning and figure out what the best ways of helping the student learn. And then also, after the theory is applied, it takes time for the teacher to see those changes in behavior. So, for example, like the student wouldn't be able to just pick up on a new behavior after interacting with another peer right after it happened. It takes time for those things to happen. And then another challenge would be the cultural communication barriers. So if students aren't on the same level of language, or if they don't even speak the same language, it's hard for students to interact with that. Another thing would be that it's hard to observe in the classroom. You can do little observations with students and like their social interaction, but like I said before, it's hard to see the behaviors change right after it happens. Some strengths I thought of would that it puts emphasis on social interactions, which improve language development, cultural competence in one's own culture while exposing oneself to another culture. And then the zone of proximal development allows teachers to see a student's strengths and determine their needs for the future. Weaknesses would be that it's difficult to observe due to the amount of time needed to see development, and that it can be difficult to use if cultural communication barriers exist. So, how play is supported. Play is the most important interaction that a child can do with their parents or their peers in their classroom. Through play, children can watch their peers play and learn from observation. When I was reading the book, I found this quote. So it says Vygotsky believed that adults and more knowledgeable peers teach culture, language, beliefs, custom, and highly valued activities to younger children. So basically, if a child is playing with another child or adult, they can learn new words or gestures while playing. Um, while playing and watching and listening to how the child or adult plays with them. So some of the observations that I noticed in my classroom, the teacher that I have puts an emphasis on floor time or floor play. So the teachers are always on the floor playing with the students, no matter what. Like you will never catch the teachers up just walking around watching the students. They're always like interacting with the students, playing with the students, and making sure that they are getting that social interaction since it is kind of hard for them to get that from their peers since it is an infant toddler classroom. Um, but the only time that I've ever seen them not interacting on the floor with them is whenever they're changing diapers or they're sleeping or eating. And another thing that I noticed was with the age difference between the toddlers and the infants is that like the infants and the younger toddlers are learning from their interactions with the older toddlers. So, for example, we have one infant that just started walking, but before he started walking, he was crawling around with the toddlers that could walk, and they would push the little shopping carts around, and he would get up on the shopping cart and try to push as well. And I honestly believe that like he was trying to play with them and interact with them. So now that he did that, he is learning how to walk. And just from those watching his friends, walk with him. And also, for another example, um, this can also be used in like a bad way, um, because some of the younger toddlers are learning like non-desirable behaviors from the older toddlers, such as like screaming and just throwing things whenever they're angry, instead of just crying like normal. But um, I've seen that also being happening in the classroom. But anyway, yeah, so that's my presentation, and I'm sorry I'm so awkward, but thanks for watching, and bye.